Alrighty, welcome back everyone. It is LaughNgamez here. I'm back with another Starcraft 2 1 versus 1 bot AI cast. We have got ourselves what should be a good one here today, as it's going to be a bot author recommended replay. And so we'll just have to wait and see why it was recommended. Anyway, we've got a bot I don't believe I've cast before, or if I have, it's been quite a while. And I apologize if I butcher the pronunciation. So I want to say it's Clicadinha. Clicadinha? Clicadinha, I think. Anyway, I'll contemplate that as I cast this game as it goes on. We've got Clicadinha taking on Ketroc. And Ketroc notably is going Ghost Hellbat, so a bit of a pivot from styles that it usually plays. And we'll just have to see how well a bot can do making Ghosts and Hellbats. So ladies and gentlemen, before we get too far into this one, as always, make sure to go ahead, click that like button if you haven't already. Leave a comment down below saying more bots if you want to see more bot matches. And then subscribe if you happen to watch these videos but you're not subscribed already. Just give it a click. And yeah, let's see where this one's going to go. We do have a command center on the way for Ketroc, a low ground bunker, so no crazy big diversions from usual play or anything like that. Clicadinha, meanwhile, since it is more of the unknown bot to myself, we'll just have to see what it's going to get up to, telling us that it's version 25, not to 12. And then we've got a Roach Warren on the way for Clicadinha. Overlord moving across the map to scout things out. But all in all, looks like a fairly safe Zerg opening. We'll have to wait and see if it gets aggressive or not. And while we do wait for things to really pop off, I figured I'd read the description for this Zerg bot. So, Clicadinha is a Zerg bot programmed in Python, created April 2024, the 4th of April that is, and last updated the 27th of February 2025. So all in all, that's a relatively new bot compared to some of the older bots like Ketroc's bot. I'm not sure how old it is, but I know it's definitely older than that. And the biography says, a bot made with the Ares framework, made from the example of Ares, and then using the Queen framework for the repository of the spot, visit, and then there's a link. So nothing too detailed for the description, just letting us know what it was built off of. A lot of bots out there are built off of community frameworks, which if you happen to want to program your own bot, you don't need to worry about starting from scratch or anything like that. There's many frameworks for you to utilize as an aspiring bot author. I know if I ever took a shot at programming a bot, I would 100% be using a framework because I am a very novice programmer. Now, we've got something very exciting on the way for Ketroc, a Ghost on the way out for starters. I'm just reading the Ghost's abilities to make sure I understand what version it is, because Ghosts are a unit that we so rarely see in these bot games. Like, for example, like, there is a bit of a version difference in the bot version of StarCraft 2 because it's maintained by the community, so it's not necessarily always on the latest patch. And so that means we have got some units that are sort of the old versions of themselves. So I'm like, which Ghost nerfs have gone through here? EMP doing 100 damage, 75 energy snipes. Doesn't say anything about the snipe expiring, so these may be the unlimited range snipes. I'm not sure about that. Anyway, we see Ketroc. Very cool. The bot just automatically pulling a mule off the line so it wouldn't possibly die with money in its bank. And then we've got an armory going up for the Terran bot because you can't have Hellbats. Well, Ghost Hellbat without Hellbats, which require an armory. The Zerg bot is going up to an Evo, getting up a lair. Just a respectful macro play with a bit of safety from Clicadinha, although it's just got out the tech. It hasn't actually made any units yet, so maybe just... I'm not sure what conditions will have to be made before Clicadinha says I need to make some units, but it does seem to be a bit more of a defensive bot for starters, which is cool. Macro focused, as it does go up in the drone count. Now 6 roaches get produced, as Ketroc's bot does have Well, it's making 2 ghosts at a time now, which is quite scary. That is a lot of ghost production for early on in a game. It throws up 2 more racks. Not sure if it will be able to sustain production off that many racks, but it's going to try, as the Terran bot has a 3rd command center just about done, so it'll be able to float that over. Notably, just building that in the main base and then not floating or not building it on location, which sometimes Ketroc's bot does build the bases on location, so I'll definitely have to keep eyes on that. Maybe ask Ketroc next time I speak with him, like, why does your bot do this? Sometimes it builds bases on location, sometimes it doesn't. What's the deal with that? Anyway, we have got our Raven on the way now for Ketroc, so gonna have that to help deal with the creep problem, which is still a problem regardless of what your strategy is, as Terrans are generally is spreading creep, but it is good to see that Clicadinha is making use of that creep spread. And now we do have a lot of roaches moving out for the Zerg bot, potentially going to be going for an attack on Ketroc. Ketroc doesn't have cloak on these ghosts, so they will be vulnerable to the roaches to potentially pick them off. And now we're going to see how well Clicadinha can attack on in. This bunker is rather exposed. Roaches take some damage, but they do sally forward. Snipes do get queued up on some of those roaches. However, snipes do not one-shot roaches. Thankfully for Ketroc, though, there is this Raven to allow these roaches to be killed. And while they take damage, they just... oh, it's a massacre, as the roaches, they take damage from a ghost snipe, they burrow, and then they just got finished off by the Hellbats thanks to the detection of Ketroc. Notably, the roaches for Clicadinha are just they're not doing a fighting retreat, they are literally just running all the way home. So maybe that could be an area for a bit of improvement, as you generally want to stutter step on your way out of a fight. Yeah, so Ketroc takes a very, very good trade to the start with those ghosts, getting the snipes off. Turns out snipes pretty good against roaches, and this is one of the things why it's scary as a bot, because, I mean, the ghosts, they'll all snipe automatically. They're actually quite low on energy, it seems, right now, so the roaches are doing rather well for themselves. They've actually kind of gutted the natural of Ketroc, so the fact that there's been so many roaches killed that they've used up all the snipe energy, but then are still pushing in, is quite formidable. More roaches are being rallied out by the blue Zerg, some slowlings even joining up. And this natural command center is actually going to burn down. Ketroc's bot doesn't lift that off. It seemed to be stuck building an SCV, but it would have been best if that did get lifted off. Some of these ghosts are starting to go down. Another one pops out, drops the snipe. Roaches are trying to push up the ramp as the blue Zerg really goes for the throat. This wall is pretty tight. There is quite a few ghosts out still. They're going to have +1 attack in the near future, but oh man, it seems the wall could be the fatal flaw of the blue Zerg as it just tries to path up here. Seems like it's trying to get on top of the Vikings, but no vision, so that is quite sad. The wall does get lowered, which actually makes the roaches change their pathing and actually go up the ramp. They kill off 2 of the Hellbats, so Ketroc's bot does not want to do that. The roaches are actually working away on this wall. Looks like they may get it. Not quite. No, they do. So the main base has been breached. Ketroc has got a chat tag for that, saying that's not good. The 3rd base is still mining up for the red Terran, though. And so Clicadinha needs to either get lots of damage done in the main or kill that 3rd. The Zerg bot has just been pumping units off of 3 bases. And then it's just going to keep trying. However, it does lose more of these units. Roaches and lings are being produced still for Clicadinha, as it does pool up. Just more of these units. +1 attack is a thing on these roaches. So upgrades are fairly even right now. That burrowed roach is going to regret its decision to unburrow as it just gets killed by a snipe. Some of these roaches are... looks like the roaches are actually trying to prioritize the ghosts, which is quite interesting as they run right by the Hellbats. Hellbats could be very useful for Ketroc, though, as the masslings do path on in. There is lots of roaches to back them up. Where are all the ghosts for Ketroc? The answer is they're not really in position to help out here. The wall has been rebuilt for the blue Zerg, though, as it kills off these... or for the Terran, pardon me, as the blue Zerg kills off some of those Hellbats, but it does get into the main base. Auto turret gets dropped. Roaches are going to go further. This could mean some SCVs are going to die, as roaches do get into the mineral line. Thankfully, Ketroc's bot does have turrets inside the mineral line, so that does mean these roaches will actually be revealed, even if they do burrow, and Clicadinha does have them burrow despite detection being present, which isn't the most advanced burrow behavior we've ever seen. However, the blue Zerg is doing quite well for itself, as it is cleaning up a lot of these SCVs, getting damage done. Ketroc has built another command center, though, and it's got another one building inside its main base, so it is going to be a 4-base Terran. So Clicadinha may need to get some more work done. It does fire up tunneling claws, which is interesting. The blue Zerg has built another gas, which is quite important, as it was actually floating a lot of minerals, so having more gas income may allow it to actually spend those minerals on roaches. Some Hellbats are going down. The ghost count is presently 9, as Ketroc is just pumping Hellbats, though, as they're the units that have died the most. Only 3 ghosts have gone down versus 28 Hellbats against 86 roaches. So, man, oh man, what a trade for Ketroc, really, with those ghosts getting some good snipes at the same time. 42 SCVs have died, that's no joke. But here we go, ladies and gentlemen, Ketroc is building a nuke, so he's taken the time to program his bot to actually produce a nuke. Unfortunately, the unit positioning isn't the best for Ketroc, as it positions its army at the 3rd, leaving the natural wide open. Neither of these command centers have lifted off. The ghosts are getting massive amounts of snipes off, though. The Lings definitely do not want to engage those Hellbats, but Clicadinha seems to be wanting to escape, but it is just caught between a rock and a hard place and probably going to die. The Zerg bot does have some more advanced behavior, though, which is good to see for its debut anyway, or for me seeing it for the first time in a long time. It does have +2 attack on the way, Aspire on the way. Unfortunately, supply is absolutely atrocious for Clicadinha right now. The Zerg bot seems to say, I'm waiting to build mutas if I had to guess, and not spending its money on anything else, which is not very good, as, oh man, Ketroc is moving out with a ghost, potentially going to be dropping a nuke. Let's wait and see. As that ghost goes for the walk across the map, it's gonna drop the nuke. There it is. Ketroc saying tag my nuke, which is an interesting chat tag. Clicadinha fires up a ton of Lings and a ton of mutas as it does start to produce units now that that's done. But there we go. The drones do pull away. Machine-like splits. So many larvae, and the queen got deleted by that nuke, though, so that definitely did still get some damage. That actually just refunded a lot of money back to Clicadinha. Thankfully, those units did not pop out right before the nuke went off. There is another queen across the map. I wonder if this one's going to go back to the hatchery, or if Clicadinha will replace the one that died, as at some point it would be good to see the Zergbot take an expansion or invest a little bit more in its macro. However, realistically, we can't ask for too much from it, as it's just not the first thing you prioritize as a bot author when you're working on a relatively new bot. Clicadinha is moving in. Slowlings trying to do what they can. However, there is simply so many ghosts and Hellbats for Ketroc, and this is just a ridiculous Terran army. Ghosts, Hellbats, lots of snipe potential. The mutas, did they just all die? I think they must have, just to snipes immediately. Another nuke is going to get queued on up, as Clicadinha is going to have to split away from that, but that's going to be potentially another dead queen, some dead units. Let's see, do the drones split away from this? Yes, they do. So the bot author has done some work to prevent that. Now, let's take a look here. Queens dropping transfuses on each other, trying to keep each other alive. Unfortunately, Ketroc's bot has decided to start BMing. It's gutted the 3rd base, and now these Hellbats and Ghosts are going to clean everything up. A bit of BM from Ketroc saying, shouldn't we be fast-forwarding by now? Well, I think we may be getting to that point in the video. Ladies and gentlemen, this has definitely been a bit of an enjoyable cast. Make sure to click that like button if you haven't already. If we can hit 50 likes on this video, that would be amazing. Leave a comment down below saying more bots if you want to see more of these bot matches, as I certainly enjoy casting them. And then, yeah, subscribe if you haven't already. Click that bell icon, get notified whenever I put up a new post, a new live stream. I'm probably going to be doing Sunday live streams from now on for a little bit, doing the SC2 AI Arena tournament. And yeah, Clicadinha, I hope I pronounced your bot's name right, or your own username right, as seeing as how the bot author and the bot share the same name. And yeah, very cool showing. I mean, the Zerg bot did almost kill Ketroc. Like, it took out the natural, it made it into the main base. It did quite well. The ramp pathing did mess with it a little bit, but it's even got creep spread over to Ketroc's base, so it can't actually land a command center. Now Ketroc is going for the throat, though. And yeah, really great showing from this bot. I'll definitely keep eyes on both of them, though, as it will be interesting to see if there's more nukes out of Ketroc. Mass Hellbats, Mass Ghost, 200 supply. Not something you see every day. All those Overlords gonna die. The last Assimilator. GG.